Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. We're in the final hour of the trading day, my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions. Real quick, the reason I say this is because during the day, you have the algorithms and the day traders. They are the ones that are in control of the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in. They come in with size. They take control away from the day traders and the algorithms. In my opinion, they have very smart people working for them. They have the best technology, best information, and I feel that following what the large financial institutions do at the end of the day in the long run is an edge in your trading. So, well, interesting day today. Let me see real quick here. All right. So currently the Dow Jones is down 88 points, down 0.3%. The NASDAQ having a big day, up 93 points, up 1.67%, and the S&P up 17 points, up about 0.5%. So a little bit of a counter rotation. You know, we rotated out of tech into the industrials over the last few days. And then today we're having a little roll back in to tech. And so we have a divergence again with the NASDAQ up and the Dow Jones down. So thank you all for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see everyone. I appreciate you being here. I'm grateful that we have this nice group where we can share some ideas and share some trades. And I hope that it is helping with your helping you to learn some good trading and investing principles. So listen, here real quick's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, when I bought them, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I've also had a few day trades today. I'm going to share those with you. Then we're going to go over to your trades. We're going to look at the board and see how those are doing. I see some green, I see some red, so a little bit of a mixed bag. After that, we are going to talk about trader psychology. Most important part of trading, in my opinion, is being able to create a plan and then have the mental fortitude to follow that plan. It's always tougher than it sounds. We all know how to lose weight. You know, we eat better food, we exercise more. That will do it. That will help you lose weight. But wanting to lose weight and losing weight by not following the plan, that sometimes happens. So it's very similar with trading in my experience. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. First requirement, look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Number 2, risk to reward is extremely important. The more I trade, the more I realize how important it is. If I'm going to take a trade, I'm going to look for support underneath me. I'm going to look from the distance from my entry to that support. That's my risk. My reward is my entry to likely resistance above, and I need that to be at least 2 to 1. 3 to 1, 4 to 1, even better, but a minimum of 2 to 1. And then number 3, always take a few minutes. Consider how many positions you have, how much account heat you have, and how correlated your positions are. My opinion, it's a very good idea to have uncorrelated positions. In an ideal world, every single position I have would be completely uncorrelated. So those are the 3 requirements. I'm going to go down through the watch list of the potential, or not through the watch list, but I've already done that. I'm going to go down through the candidates that I've put down, and I'm going to go through them with a fine-tooth comb. And at the end of the day, if I can find something that has a good confluence of indicators on multiple time frames, has a good risk to reward ratio, and also I'm not too heavily correlated in that position already as type as industries, I will go ahead and place the trade near the end of the day. After the market closes, if you have any questions, please let me know. If there's any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the market closes, please let me know. Just put them in the chat. Put an asterisk or emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my best to get to it. And then if you have any new entries or exits for me that you would like me to put up on the board, if you could be so kind, just wait till the end of the day, and then I will get them all taken care of. But I just want to make sure that I'm done trading, done teaching, and the pressure's off before I start doing that. Okay. So that's the plan. Hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's say hello. Kamal is here. Hey, bud, good seeing you. Thanks for chatting with me today, and thanks for our Skype call last night. That was great. Appreciate your input on all those things we discussed. And thanks, as always, for helping me any way you can, like you always do. I appreciate that, Kamal. Dan is here. Hey, Dan. Salutations. Salutations right back. Johnson is here. Hello, Johnson. Hello, sir. Hello, Greg. Hello, everybody. Hello, bud. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Hope you're having a good day. Gary M is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hi, Gary. Good to see you, buddy. Ava is here. Hi, Ava. Hi, Greg and everyone. Hello, Ava. Frank says, hello, Greg and group, and a salute to our veterans. 100%. Nice seeing you, Frank. I just posted something on Twitter about my dad because he was lifelong military, and so I just posted a little thing about him, but I 100% agree. Steve, hey bud, good to see you. Steve says, hello everyone, Apple is working so far. It is definitely working so far, and thanks for coming, Steve. Appreciate it as always. It's always a big deal to have you here, and I'm sure everyone else feels the same way. Bob is here. Hey Bob, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice day. All right, we have a poem for Mr. Frank. So let me paste that in my little note dealio over here. And let's see what Frank came up with today. It's always good. Your trade happens between the buy and sell, the wait and the worry that all goes well. Follow your plan, size your position. Trading isn't so much as a job as it is a mission. Oh, that's great. Your trade happens between buy and the sell, the wait and the worry that all goes well. Follow your plan, size your position. Trading isn't so much a job as it is a mission. Fantastic, Frank. As always, just right on point. Thank you for the time and energy and that you put into these poems, and they're such a great little contribution to the podcast. Not little, they're a big thing. David is here. Hey bud, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Hope the shoulder's doing well. So, man, have I got a big surprise for you. Everybody's going to be so excited today. I swear I'm going to hear one sigh of relief when I announce this. Actually, I'll just say it now. On the overnight SPY trade, I was talking with Kamal about this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a video in my lessons playlist in YouTube, and I'm going to talk all about the SPY trade, and I'm not going to annoy you and torture you every day with explaining the SPY trade. If somebody is new here today and they'd like me to explain it, I'll explain it afterwards. But going forward, everybody knows what the SPY trade is, the overnight SPY trade. I'm just going to show you where I entered, where I exited, and then I will put a more detailed video in my in my lessons playlist on YouTube if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty. So no more having to hear me talk about it. This is a huge thrill for you, I'm sure, and it's a huge thrill for me. So. All right, let's get started. Steve says, very cool idea for a SPY overnight trade video. Yeah, I wish somebody would have told me this before. Kamal was like, dude, I think we've got it. Really? Do you? Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do overnight SPY video and just get into the details of it all and so forth and so on. But no more. Hey, let's start out with the SPY right here. See how much smoother this goes. I did buy the SPY yesterday at the close at 354.04. I sold it today on the open 356.43. So what is that? Like $2.39. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. Of course, I will buy this again at the end of the day. Ah, that was liberating. All right, VIX. Ramble, Ron, Quad, and myself, we did buy the VIX back here with the under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. Bought it here at 1991. The stop is the 30 RSI. It is down. I bought it at 1991. It's 1922, so it is down over a couple percent from my entry, but my stop is a close under 30. Apple. Okay, so I'm going to show you Apple over here, and then we'll get into the details. But Steve and I, and let's see. Steve, Frank has a 10% runner from his 111. Gary's long from 108, so he's up 11 bucks. And Johan also bought it. But let me take you over here to the clean chart. We all bought this. Well, Steve and Johan and I bought this yesterday with the 1030 crossover. I bought it here at 116.58. The price is still above the 10 and the 30. The 10 is still above the 30, so it is up 2.69% today. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you the day trade so I can clean up this chart first. I apologize. It's always a pain, I know. Okay, I did buy Apple on the 5-minute. Here's a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. This point is a fractal point. In addition to that, we have the 200-day moving average. It went under, closed above, under, closed above, under, closed above, under, closed above. So it tested this under 200 4 times. Here, we had a nice clean break above the 200-day moving average, and it also triggered this fractal. So I got in at 118.44. After a couple bars and a big up bar, I got out of half at 118.74. I got out of the half of the half on this another big up bar and rejection of the third ATR channel at 119.05, and then I got out of the remaining amount when we had to close below the previous day's low. So I like that setup with the nice strong close above the 200 and triggering the fractal. So bought at 118.44, sold part at 118.74. Sold another part at 118.83 and another part at 119.05. So pretty good, actually, all said and done. Nice little trade there. Now I'm going to switch back to the daily on the crossover. And so let's see, Steve bought here 117.79. Frank has a 10% runner from his 111. Gary's in at 108. And Johan is in probably right around the close. What's mine? 116.58. I did hit 2 profit targets today. Of course, when it moves up a certain amount, I do take a certain percentage off. I hit one profit target at 17.77, and I hit another profit target right near the high, within a couple ticks of the high, at 119.54. So anyway, so far so good. I'm a little concerned about this big down bar, and now we're right at the halfway point, but taking off some of the profit targets kind of helps me with that and kind of helps mitigate the risk if it does fail. So as long as this 10 closes above the 30 on this other chart over here, and this crossover is still in place, I will keep it. And so I think that's it for my regular trades. GILD, You know, the reason I looked at GILD is we had this big up move yesterday. I didn't get in it yesterday because it rejected the 50 RSI, but we came down to about halfway. That got me interested in a day trade. Day trade was early this morning, right here, and I made a mistake on this trade. I can't believe I did this, but you know, I saw the bounce off the 200 and the V1, but I didn't realize that the RSI was under 30. I just, for some reason, I was fixated on this and I wasn't fixated on this, and it cost me. But not too bad. It closed below the 200-day moving average, so I got in at 60.04 and I got out at 59.91. So small loss, and that's how the losses should be. And good thing I took it off, right? Look what happened. But again, it was a mistake on my part. I should not have taken that. I didn't notice the 30 RSI. But it has really taken off since then. Kamal and I were looking at this when we had this nice sideways movement and big strong bar, which is very bullish. I was looking to buy it if it possibly closed back halfway, and it just took off without us. So now quad is also in this. He got in. He didn't. He thought it was going to close above the 50 RSI, and it didn't. And like I said yesterday, it rejected the 50. And I was going to buy this if it closed over the 50, but it didn't. And so that's a bummer there, quad. Beyond Meat. I had an interesting little trade on Beyond Meat. You see the sideways motion we have, all this sideways motion? Well, sideways motion usually breaks one way or the other. This low here is a fractal with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. I shorted here when we triggered that fractal. I shorted at 125.85. It immediately went down. And as I always say, whenever I get a big, immediate, big down bar, I take half. So I shorted at 125.85. I covered half at 125.37. And then immediately it went right back up. I tried to get out right when it got to my entry point, but I was a little late and I got filled at 125.92. So I made from here to here on half, and I lost from here to here on half, but still profitable trade. Okay. Now let's see. Frank says, I took the SPY trade last night. It wasn't so bad. Uh-oh. I'm rubbing off on Frank. Oh no. It's not too bad. I mean, there's some doozies one way or the other, but I mentioned this the other day, but I finally went positive on that trade, and of course today was over 2 points on the SPY trade as well. So green for the year, which I would have never thought would have happened. Kamal says 5 minutes gain for everyone, and you can save energy, and we can evaluate more charts. Yes. I have an idea here today that I'm going to show you. Maybe you guys could give me some feedback on this as far as how to replace that 5 minutes of torture. Liberating. Yes. Good for you. So no need to explain it every day. Everyone's ecstatic about that. I can tell. No one more than me. Trust me. Okay. Let's take a look at current positions of everyone else. David. Beautiful trade on Berkshire Hathaway. This is a perfect example of a trade here. Rejected the 200, rejected the 200, rejected the 200, rejected the 30 RSI, rejected the 30 RSI, closed back over the negative third ATR channel. Doesn't mean it has to go up, but it did give a very good and well-defined risk to reward ratio. David bought here at 201.42. Look at this. I mean, is this not a perfect example of risking a little bit for the potential of making a lot? It's down a little bit today, but up 11% entry to current price. So very, very nice job, David. Qs, Frank has a half position in the Qs. from 284.60. It is now 289.32, up 2.05%. So it's up on the day and it's up on the trade. Congratulations, Frank. Okay, HA. Well, this was quite the trade here from Johan and Gary. They both took it. I want to point out, look at this sideways motion. You know, just like I shorted Beyond Meat earlier today, I love sideways motion and then some kind of breakout or some kind of trigger, because sideways motion leads to big moves up or big moves down. Big moves up and move down usually lead back to sideways motion. So I kind of want to buy it when it's boring and sell into the party. This at one point was up over 50% for Johan and for Gary. Now I'm very happy that Johan took off 3/4 of this trade at much higher prices, and Gary took off a half at much higher prices. It is down 8.62% today, which is a lot, but in the context of the move, it's not that much. You know, when you take prices off at higher levels, if it comes back down, it just doesn't hurt as much. So I'm sure Gary and Johan are not, you know, thrilled that it's down 8.62%, but in real terms, it's maybe down 2.5% for them because they sold already up here. So congratulations, guys. That was a trade for the ages there. Boy, I'll tell you what. GDXJ, Yas bought GDXJ at 53.20, moved up very, very strongly, but then we had the big collapse in metals and miners, and now this is underwater. It's down. He bought at 53.20. It's 52.84. So I don't know if Yas took any profits on the way up here. I hope he did. But Yas, if you're out there at the end of the day, let me know what you're doing with this trade. Okay. Levi, Johan had a really nice trade here. Return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside. V2 bought here at 16.12. It is now 16.76. Had 2 huge days up. Not sure if Johan phased out, but I'm fairly sure he phased out some. Is down today 3%, but still much higher than it was before, and or than his entry. But it is having a close below the previous day's low, so that's a little bit of a warning sign there. PLTR, David, holy hamburgers. David bought PLTR back here at 9.43. He got out of half at 10.95. He got out of another half of a half at 13.70, and it's up another 11% today. So from entry to exit, this is up almost 40%. I know David has not made that much because of the phasing out. But anyway, regardless, it's a monster trade. I mean, 2 on the board that have gone up 40% and up 50%. Holy smokes. Zynga. Let's see, who bought Zynga yesterday? I know, was it Bob? I think Bob did. Bought here, oh, he bought it intraday at 791, was up 3% at the end of the day. It was up higher today, but now it's down 1.84%. But I'm pretty sure it's Bob. I'm going to put Bob up here while I'm thinking about it. So anyway, still profitable, so that's good. So nice trades, everyone. Nice trades. Now, the idea that I had about replacing some time here is, instead of talking about the overnight SPY trade, we had some potentials yesterday that we were looking at, and let's see how they would have worked out. Right? Because we see signals and we think, oh man, look, that could really go up. But let's look at the reality of the ones we were looking at yesterday. Okay. Zynga was a potential yesterday. I didn't like it because of the halfway, and today we got right to the halfway. So had we bought Zynga yesterday, we would be down. Teladoc, this one would have done well. It was the under 30, over 30, and it's up 5.4%. So there you go. If I was in this, I probably would be thinking about getting out of part of it here with the rejection of the 200. WB, was on the scanner yesterday, but I said it was too high, too overextended. That is down on the day. CTAS, this is up 0.28%, so not too much of a move. Still too high up there for me to get interested in. US gold, although that never triggered. It was going to be a V2, but it never triggered. But so it is up a little bit, but that was not a valid signal yesterday. EA did trigger a V2. Well, no, it didn't. Oh, it closed over the 200-day moving average. So had you taken that one, you would have been up 0.82%. WEX, you know, again, this is something that I just looked at and said, look, it's just too chasey. It's just too high, and it's down 7% today. And these are the kind of moves to the downside that I'm concerned about when I try to buy pure momentum to the upside. ULTA was also on the list yesterday. Same thing, too high, and it's down 4.85. Sprouts Fresh Market, it's up 0.45%. It did trigger a higher low V1, but it happened right in the reverse back up into the big down move, and that's right where it's kind of pegged at right there. VGR, it was just too high yesterday. It is down a little bit. Mylan triggered it was a crossover, but you can see up 5 cents, not much. WAB, can't remember why that triggered, but down. CRI triggered down, and W did trigger, and that one's up. So, you know, a mixed bag, but I'm not surprised that a lot of those big down bars yesterday, the big down bars got, you know, the move back up into them is stopping at halfway, and that happened on a lot of them. Ava says watching Teledoc. Yeah, that's on my list today, Ava. A couple people have asked me about that today, trying to stay above the 200. It is. I got to give you my complete honest opinion, though. Here we have the big old bar down. Even if it does close above the 200-day, now look, I could be wrong 100%, but I'll bet you it's going to battle to get above this this price area. I mean, it could go zooming up, who knows? But, you know, if anybody's considering buying Teledoc, I would at the very least wait to get the 200-day underneath me, or in other words, get the price above the 200-day moving average. Ava says added QLD at 95.80 this morning. Oh, great. Ava, if you could, try to remind me at the end, okay? So then I'll get them all updated. Ava said, Gary says, I will miss the Liz Ann Saunders reference every day. Not me. Not me. Liz Ann Saunders is not even going to talk to me after this, I'm sure. Johnson said, I'm watching TDOC as well. Okay, we just talked about that. It'd be great if it could get above the 200-day moving average. Also, INFY. Well, that's a big V2. I always feel like I'm raining on everyone's parade, but you know, this is a V2, but there's a couple things wrong with it. One, day one's bar is too big, and the gap from bar 2 to bar 3 to create the V2 has a huge gap in it. So two things in my opinion. This is too big down. This is too big of a gap. Doesn't mean it can't go up. I'm just saying you take this trade 100 times, I'll bet you more than 50% of the time this pattern goes down. Yes says, took profits on GDX, but still in it. Okay, fantastic. Yes, I'm really glad. I would have hated to have just seen this huge move up and just to give it all back. Excellent, yes. Bob's in Zanga. Kamal says, oh, I love the new idea at looking at yesterday's signals. Oh, good, Kamal. I was hoping you would, because then we can see, you know, every time we look at a signal in our head, in our heads, we're like, oh, this is probably going to take off like crazy. But looking at the reality of it was different, right? Ava says, really like the review of the trades not taken. Oh, good. All right. Well, we'll replace Liz Ann Saunders with trays not taken, and you know, it was a mixed bag. Some were up, some were down, but I think more trades than not were down that we passed on. Marco, hello, sir. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice evening in Slovenia. Always great for you to drop by. Hope life is well. And tell your cousin, I can't remember your cousin's name, tell him hi from me as well, would you? Okay. Let me see what the old Mark's doing here. Apple's up $3. That's good. My VIX is down. Not so good, but that's okay. Dow Jones is down almost 100. Wow, it's just strange to see the Dow down 100 and the NASDAQ up 100. Okay, so listen, before we start looking at potential new trades today, I just want to talk a little bit about trader psychology. You know what? This is a big thing for me. It's a big thing for me because it's super important. It's important for me, and it's important for you to get your mind right and dial into your trading psychology where you're doing things how you're supposed to and following the plan. There's some really good Facebook, Twitter channels out there. One of the best ones is Trader Composure. It's at YVANBYEAJEE, or Trading Composure. So I think is that the wrong one? I know it's under Trading Composure. I hope this isn't someone that was a counterfeit one. But make sure you go to just Trading Composure and make sure he has like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. That'd be the right one. But regardless, this is really good advice. You have two jobs. Job number one, get better at following your plan. Number two, get better at managing your state of mind. As you gain proficiency and trade bigger sizes, you'll see that nothing is more important. And he's 100% correct, everybody. There is nothing more important than following your plan and managing your state of mind. The two go together. You know, if you cannot manage your state of mind, you will not follow your plan. They're like mutually exclusive. So, it's pretty simple. Two things here. Get better at following your plan. Get better at managing your state of mind. All the other stuff is just hitting the buy button and the sell button. That's not that hard. It's not that hard to look for a good risk to reward ratio. It's not that hard to look at important levels like RSI levels, major moving averages, things like that. That is not hard. The real work is in following the dang thing. So, say this to yourself 3 times before you start trading. I'm going to get better at following my plan. I'm going to get better at managing my state of mind. As you gain proficiency and trade bigger sizes, you'll see that nothing is more important. 100%. If you just go out and you buy one share of Apple, you're probably going to follow your plan pretty well because there's not that much risk on the line, right? It can go up 10 points. You're like, I made $10, right? But bump that up to 1,000 shares and see if your mind races a little bit and you have some conflict there. So anyway, thank you, Trading Composure. As always, you always have great, great, great posts. Marco says, thank you very well. Yes, I will. Good. Great, great, great. I forgot his name, but I know he was your cousin there. Okay, everybody. Well, let's take a look here. Wow, we have all this time. Nice. All right. Some potentials for today. Steve Burns says, this is Yvonne's old username. He changed it to Composure. No letter E at the end. Oh, you know what, Steve? You're right. Okay, so that is the correct one. And Steve says it's just at Trading Composure with no E on the end on Twitter. Okay, well, you know how people do the duplicate channels and they try to be imposters. Steve knows that very well. There's like 20 people a day that do that for Steve. But okay, good to know that was legit. So at Trading Composure, no E on the end on Twitter. So, all right, here we go. Sierra Wireless. These are the results of the scan. We do have a higher low V2. It's a pretty good one too. We were below the -1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We have a V2. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 looks like it's going to close above day 1's close. This is all good. We have sideways consolidation here. However, tomorrow it looks like there are earnings. I don't know if they're in the morning. I don't know if they're in the afternoon. You know, it's a decent trade. If they're in the morning, there's just no way I would take it here. And then if they're in the afternoon, it's possible that I would take it. The weekly looks good. We have a nice V2 on the weekly. So I don't know if anybody's out there that could check and see when the SWIR's earnings are, if they are tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. But this is a pretty decent setup, especially going into earnings. You know, if it starts moving one direction or not, and anticipation. But if the earnings are tomorrow afternoon, I would consider buying it, but I certainly would sell it before the close. So if maybe somebody could just check for me on SWIR and see if the earnings are in the AM or in the PM. GoDaddy. Well, we have a couple things going on here. We have a double bottom with a bullish divergence. Here's the first low with deep MACD bars. We certainly went green with MACD bars. We came back down, we tested that low, and the MACD bars are not as deep as this one. So the implication here is the second move had less momentum than the downside. Now, we have a V2, day 1, 2, 3. We have a big, nice close above the 200-day moving average. We're at 49.49. We got already very close to rejecting the 50 RSI. Look, this could just keep on moving, but it doesn't make sense for me. One, that we're so close to the 50, and two, that if you use the 200-day moving average for your stop, it's so far down. So this looks chasey to me. Nice setup, double bottom, bullish divergence, V2, but again, we came very close to rejecting the 50. The day 1 bar is way too big, and we're too far extended from the 200. So I'm going to pass on GoDaddy. Wix, again, double bottom with a bullish divergence, deep, green, shallow on the red. We have a V2, but the risk to reward just doesn't make any sense to me. My risk would be down here, halfway of this washout bar. That's a lot of risk. That's a lot of risk, and we have a, we have this high over here, so and earnings. So I'm going to have to let that one go as well. Team, see, we just have a lot of these same setups here, where we have false breakouts, we have V2s, but the risk to reward, it just doesn't make sense to me. This one definitely rejected the 50 RSI also. Gary says SWIR is aftermarket tomorrow. Okay. All right. All right. Bluebird for Kamal. You know, I don't like this. I mean, we're making lower lows on deeper MACD bars. If we look over at the weekly, we have this monster down bar here. You know, if we rally, sure, we could get maybe back to halfway. We're closing below the open. Right now, we're in danger of losing the negative third ATR channel. I don't know. This one doesn't speak to me, Kamal. But you're pretty good at taking a look at these, but to me, this doesn't move the needle for me whatsoever. Mr. Johan is here. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good day. or good evening. David says, planning to sell PLTR tomorrow before earnings. I think that's an excellent idea, David. Marco says, my cousin Bastian. Hey, that's right. I remember that name. You tell Bastian hello for me, Marco. Okay, where were we? Team? Or did we already look at team? Yeah, we already looked at team. INSG. I'm very leery of 2 days ago we had the big bar down. Big bar down. Yes, it's a V2. Day one is larger than 1 ATR on the way down. This feels like a bounce to me. I could totally be wrong. I would much rather miss out on one more day up and then have a pullback and grab a higher low V1 or V2. I mean, MACD went positive here, all sorts of stuff, but I just don't like the drastic amount of selling and trying to buy back into the areas. A lot of people that bought up here, they would be really happy to sell if we had a bit of a recovery. So that's going to add selling pressure. Etsy. Well, Etsy has retaken the 50-day moving average back in the value zone. You know, it's okay, but I would rather wait for a crossover. I mean, it's up 9% today. That's a big move. I mean, it could just keep going, but again, if you want to use the 50-day moving average as your stop, it'd be a decent little stop there. It's going to probably run into some resistance here at the high of the gap down day, so I'm going to pass on that. EQIX, well, you know what I'm going to say. We hit day one's bars way down. We have rallied, but I just can't imagine it. I mean, I can imagine it, but if I did this trade 100 times, more than 50% of the time, I'm sure it's going to get stuck right here. And look at that confluence of the halfway down, reverse back up to halfway down. So we have the big down bar. We were up to 50% of it, and that dovetails right with the 50-day moving average and right with the 50 RSI. So lots of bearish overhead resistance right here at this area. So the risk to reward doesn't make sense in my opinion. DG, same thing. Big down bars. Yes, we bounced, but we didn't get past half this way, so I don't see anything there either. PagerDuty, V2, but the risk doesn't make any sense to me all the way down here. Man, sorry, I feel like I'm being a Scrooge about this. You know what I'm going to say. Big down bar, haven't got past 50%, so no. FDS, this one's much stronger because we had the big down bar and we reversed up over halfway. Has a crossover. I don't know if that back tests well. Only 99,000 shares traded, so I don't see anything there. Siri, big strong day up. Got denied at halfway of this bar here. Overextended. Momo, it's probably the strongest one we've looked at here. A lot of volume. False breakout to the upside though. We did take out this high and now we've closed back under. Has a crossover. I don't know if anybody can do the crossover on that, the 520 crossover, but a lot of selling did come in here above the breakout area to drive it back down, so I don't see anything there either. Lulu, V2, but again, V2 with the large down bar. Washout, V2, yes, but so much selling happened right here. Yeah. Pets.com. You know, this one's not bad in the fact that we did close above the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is pretty close. I mean, it's not the greatest risk to reward, but I know exactly where the reward is. We took out a fractal, so we do have support of that 200 underneath. MACD went positive. I would say so far that Pets.com is my favorite one. AT, rejection of the 200, so I don't like that. CMG has a crossover. I did check the crossover. The back test does back test positively. This is Chipotle Mexican Grill. It does back test. Let's see, 1281.33, 1279.28. So there is a valid 520 crossover that does back test well. We went under the 50, back over the 50. I'm still a little concerned about this bar, but CME is pretty decent. Pega Systems tried to do a V2, but again, day one's bar is too big. TGT, it's just range bound still within this large down bar. Twillo. Now Twillo's not as bad as some of the rest. We have a V2 here. We have a false breakout to the downside. We rejected the 50, or we're above the 50-day moving average. Twillo's okay also. And VMW, no. So it looks to me like SWIR, CGC, Teladoc, and Pets. And let me do some math here on SWIR. One, two, three, four, five. CMG, Teladoc, Twillo, SWIR, and Pets. So these are the 5 right here. Real quick, let me take a look at current positions before I do anything crazy. All right, VIX is down, Apple's up. So nothing really need to be done there. So let's see if we can whittle this down here. Chipotle Mexican Grill has the crossover in place. Under 50, over 50. This big old bar here concerns me. Let's look over on the weekly. Big down bar immediately followed by a big up bar. That is a good sign. Teladoc has not quite closed above the 200, so I wouldn't even consider that at the moment. Pets.com, nice big strong break over that 200-day moving average. MACD is positive over the 50 RSI. It's not overheated yet on the RSI. It does have the 100 above it yet, but it hasn't told us it's going to reject it. Over the 50 RSI, rejection of the 50 on the weekly, so I do like that as well. Twillo with the false breakout to the downside, and the V1, and the it didn't quite go over. Let's see, did it go over 50? Not quite. It did reject the negative 1 ATR channel, which makes me a little more concerned about it. Sierra Wireless, it only has 130,000 shares. All right, that's enough reason for me to get rid of it right there. We have a long way up here on the weekly to get to the 1 ATR channel. The risk to reward's pretty decent here. We've broken out over this, and it's a fractal also. Here's the high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. Teledoc, if it closed above the 200, but I'm very concerned about this big bar. My favorite one at the moment is Pets. Yeah, I like Pets. It's a very well-defined risk. I like the fractal. I like the positive MACD. I like we've come back over the 30. I like on the weekly that we have some room to move here on the higher time frame. Yeah. It's the least range bound of them all. Teledoc could offer a good risk to reward here with the close above, but what are we at? 182.04. It's 182.08, so it's really battling with that 200-day there. All right, who just drove up Pets since we last talked about it? Wow. Amazon. Yeah, nothing about Amazon gets me excited here. Yeah, it's up 100 points. Hasn't triggered a V2. No, I would wait for, let's see. I would wait for the crossover. I would wait for the 1030 crossover to confirm that we have a bit of an uptrend going and it's not just a bounce. Johan says Oracle. No, I don't really see anything here. Again, we had the big down bar day. No, this doesn't jump out at me. Wing. Yeah, that one's better. It's a higher low V2. We did have a bit of a gap though that it's larger than 1 ATR. You have a lot of resistance here with the high here and that 50. I like that one way better than Oracle. Frank says, I like TDOC above the 200, but feel free to talk me out of it. Well, the only thing that concerns me, Frank, is the big move here. And right now it's under anyway. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it because of all the supply that came in here. But man, I'm wrong all the time, Frank. I just think there's better. Greg, I am filtering the volume based on 14-day average. If the average is less than 150, it won't show up on the scanner. Okay, right. That's excellent. Well, this is an example, Ava, of a return to value that bounced. However, when it returns to value, I want to see it move sideways for a while before I have a V1 or a V2. I generally don't take V1s or V2s if they happen above the 1 ATR channel. And right now, this is not even a V2. This close is not higher than this day's close, I don't think. Close 123.16. Oh, it is I'm sorry. Yeah. 123.16, it's 123.35, but regardless, there's no sideways motion and it's triggering above the 1 ATR channel. I mean, that one could go screaming up, there's no doubt about it. But if I were to take this trade, which I'm not, but if I were, I'd get out here with the close below halfway of this washout bar here. right, Apple's doing very nicely, up 3%. Glad for that. So for me today, at least, I'm holding Apple, 2 profit targets, fantastic. SPY, had the nice little SPY trade. We'll buy that again at the close. VIX, my little VIX not doing so hot today, but I will hold as long as it's above the 30 RSI. And pets, I like pets here just because of the fractal. It broke out of a range. The stop is close. MACD is positive. We went under 30, over 30. Technically, we had a V2 as well. I'd like to see this come down a little bit. That would increase my risk to reward. But pets, if it closes up here, I'm not going to buy it. But you know, if it closes about right where it's at right here, I will get a chance and see if there's some follow through tomorrow. Steve says AMD 1030 crossover by a penny. Is that the 1030 EMA, Steve? Or the SMA? Probably the EMA. 8064 to 8063. Yeah, this is the one that he's talking about then. Yeah, that back test, that also back test well. So that is that is valid. Doesn't mean it's going to work. Does not mean it's going to work, obviously, but just in the back testing, more times taking this signal has made money over time. In the aggregate, it's made more money than it's lost with this signal. So that is valid, 8064 to 8064. Even when they're the same, it's okay. Good risk to reward ratio. A lot of big selling that came down into here, though. That's my only concern. Oh, we only have 1 minute? Holy hamburgers. Oh, I got to buy my pets then. Okay, I bought pets. We have about 10 seconds. And that, my friends, is the close. So listen, a few of you told me about some entries that you took earlier in the day, and I know some of you are going to have some new entries. So if you were one of the early ones, try to remember what they were, put them in the chat, and if you have new entries, exits, for the rest of you, put them in the chat. We'll get them all updated, okay? But before I do, real quick, just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time. I think I teach a really good course. I've been trading for almost 25 years. I have studied extensively one-on-one with Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. And the course I teach, I incorporate everything I've learned from these gentlemen over the last 25 years. The course is a total of 15 hours. Like I said, it's one-on-one. There's 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's pretty involved. But when you're done with the course, you are going to have a lot of tools at your disposal. I think you're going to be able to look at the market very clearly and know when some good setups take care and know how to phase out if you want to phase out, know where to set emergency stops, know where to hit profit targets, intermediate term profit targets, ultimate profit targets, how to position size. We talk about trader psychology, and probably the most important thing we do is we just do a lot of simulations. We just go through thousands of days of charts, and I actually have you take the trades, and they're like real trades. We're just like trading, using the approaches that I've taught you earlier in the class. And I think repetition is very, very important. I'm a very patient teacher. And so I think patience and repetition is what you need. So if you are interested in possibly doing this one-on-one course with me, you can send me an email. Just let me know, hey, I'm interested in your course. And I'll reply and say, great, let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is free. It is not a sales call. I will never ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to learn more about you, learn more about your goals, your trading goals, your challenges, and then it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course, any questions that you have. And then when we're done, I'll say, think about it. If you want to do it, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, so there's that. And by the way, it is $1,000, but I think it's worth every single penny. I think it's worth a lot more than that. So I think it's a good investment in yourself. I really do. And then secondly, if you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help build the channel, helps keep the channel around, lets YouTube know that there's some content here that's valuable for people. So if you like today's podcast and found it helpful, if you could just take a couple seconds, hit that thumbs up button before you leave, I would really certainly appreciate it. All right. Okay. Now, okay, Steve is long AMD. No price. Okay. So we're going to put right here at the close, and we're going to put Steve 1030 EMA cross. All right. There you go, Steve. Congratulations. Good luck on that trade. Nothing new for Gary. Marco says thank you. Yuvar, hey, how you doing? Do you buy pets after hours? Well, you could. I did not buy pets after hours. I bought it right before we closed. But you can buy it after hours if you need to. But be careful, because the spreads are very large in the after-hour markets. I would try to be patient and get filled on the bid. Okay, Kamal. Well, I do like that at least it closed above the negative third ATR channel there, Kamal. $45.17. Hey, he's already in the money, everybody. Nice going, bud. Okay, we have Kamal down. Kamal says there's 25 to 30 second time from when Greg talks and we hear his voice. Yes, that's correct. There is a delay. Oh, Frank, what's happening? Frank took the SPY trade. Oh. All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to be pretty close where we bought it, right? Maybe. Okay, I got filled on the SPY at 356.67. $356.67 is me, and then Frank is $357.67. Oh, that's exactly where I got filled. Exactly. All right, so we're twinners there, Frank. Same price as me. Okay, Steve is an AMD at 81.26. See? Just made 4 cents on my chart. Okay. Oh, how dare you. Let's see. 81.26. Okay, Ava. QLD. Which is double leverage NASDAQ, or double leverage Qs. 95.80. Oh, very nice, Ava. 95.80. Fantastic. Very nice trade. So happy for you, Ava. Teladoc. $182.70. Did it close above the 200? Yes, it did. So it gives you very good risk to reward ratio. Okay, we got you all down there, Ava. And Johnson says TDOC looks closed over 200. Yep, we just talked about that. 200 is 182.04. It's 182.55. Uvar says the market is open until 4 p.m. and 59 seconds. Well, no, it's open until 4 p.m. Eastern time, Uvar, and then there is trading, after hours trading, until 6 o'clock my time, which is 8 o'clock. And correct me, anyone out there, if I'm wrong, but the market closes at 2 my time. The market keeps trading in after hours until 6, so 4 hours after. Yas says, took some apple off. My daughter loves apples. Okay. How much did you take off, Yas? And why don't I have Yas on here? Yas, sorry, bud. Where did you get into Apple? Workhorse. Okay, Greg. WKHS. Workhorse. $19.16. And Yas, could you tell me where you got in though? I'll note, I've noted that I'm going to note that you sold half, but for some reason I don't have your entry price. $16.61. Okay, thank you. And that's Bob. Good luck there, Bob. Yes, in at 116.61, sold 1/2. All right. And you also took some profits on GDXJ, right? That's good. Jackson says, morning, Greg. On a walk and just finished The Unknown Market Wizards. Great read. Yeah, it's a great book. I recommend everybody listen to that. 100%. Karen, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hi. Love the new format of your lives today. It may bring more returning viewers. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to be done with the overnight SPY trade. Maybe this weekend I will do a recording. So if anybody just loves to hear me talk about the overnight SPY trade, they could just go and watch that video over and over. But man, was that nice not to have to do that. Holy smokes. I dream about that sometimes. I talk about it so much. Thank you, Karen. And yeah, we're going to look at tomorrow. We'll look at today's setups, to all the different potential setups we had today, and we'll see how they work out. I mean, we looked at yesterday's today. Some worked out, some didn't, but I think it will be good to see some of these setups, basically just to drive home the point that every setup doesn't work. You know what I mean? And we can get an idea of what percentage of the ones we passed on, or the ones that I passed on, succeeded or didn't succeed. Ava said, just saw DT close to support, closed above the 200 SMA. Recent earnings were good, but much supply overhead. DT. Dynatrace. Yeah, and we came from a lower low. What I'd rather see is it move up here, come back down, go back under, come back over, give us a higher low close above the higher low close above the 200. I mean, this could be okay, but you see how this low was lower than this low, so it's a lower low break above the 200, where higher low breaks are much better in my opinion. Hey, you remember Lyft? Ava, we were talking about Lyft yesterday. Oh, it's up 1%. Okay. Got in at 11.19 for yes. $11.9, I mean. Oh, that was that day. Okay. Well, I'm not going to money up the chart with too many lines, but I've got you down here at the price, so you're nicely in the money. Mrs. Saunders will be sad, Greg. I know. She's going to be done with me, I'm sure. I'm going to get a breakup message any minute now. But, you know, it will be in a video, so maybe she'll be happy with that, hopefully, and I will mention her name. Oh, it was so sweet not having to do that. And I'm sure everyone's just thoroughly relieved. How about you guys tell me in the future when you don't like something I do, instead of me having to learn about it like 4 months later. All right. Oh, I got into pets, didn't I? Let's take a look where. Pets. I got in at 31.82. Okay. Have Beyond Meat, that was the day trade. I don't have GILD, that was a day trade. All right, so overnight SPY, Frank and I are in at the same price. VIX, I am down on, but it is holding the 30 RSI. Apple, nice day today. 2 nice profit targets. Along with Bob, Steve, Frank, Yas, Gary, Johan, and myself. And then the new one today is pets. So 4 positions, nothing too crazy. Let's see what's happening after hours. Apple's up 15 cents. Fantastic. Pet's unchanged. SPY's up 53 cents. That's good. That's good for Frank and I. VIX is up 4 cents. Interesting. I'll have to watch the rerun today to see this momentum change to the podcast. I'm just not talking about the SPY trade, the overnight SPY trade. That's it. Karen says, well, the U.S. legal disclaimer, pretty annoying. I agree, but that one, my hands are tied on. Unfortunately, Karen, that one I do have to run, but I 100% agree with you. So anyway, good, nice green day today between the swing trades and the day trades. So I'm very grateful for that. Karen says, I always arrive 10 minutes later because of the disclaimer. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Okay, well, listen, everybody. Please go out, try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave, or just be pleasant, or help somebody out. Give them a hand if they need. If you could also go out and try to do something nice for an animal today, whether it's just a stray animal or it's your pet, just talk to them nicely, give them a treat, give them a little pat on the head, a little rubby, a little cuddle. Throw the ball, take them on a walk, just something. But if we could do something nice for a human every day, that would be fantastic. And if we could do something nice for an animal each day, that would be fantastic. Jackson says, you could run the legal disclaimer at 3 times speed and tell people to slow it down. That gives me anxiety, even trying to think how to do that. I know that kind of stuff's simple for Jackson, but no, I think we're just going to have to live with that one, everybody. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Thanks, bud. Thank you. And so we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's snowy outside and cold, so I'm going to have to put on all my warm weather gear. Oh, I've got to put my crampons on today, too. Boy, I was slipping up in the mountains yesterday. I'm not used to ice. Petted a German Shepherd this morning, Greg, already. There you go. Your good deed for animals today is done. But you can do 2 good deeds or 3 good deeds if you want to, but just one required. Frank says, I did talk my neighbor into adopting a dog. Oh, fantastic, Frank. That's great. I love to hear that. Ah, that's good. Let me know what kind of dog it is. Maybe you could take a picture and I'll share it. Jackson says, joking, by the way, blame my Aussie humor. Oh, I like Aussie humor, but I thought you were serious, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to leave it, everybody. That's just the way it goes. All right, so Dow down 23 points, NASDAQ up 232. This has been crazy, and S&P up 27, and Apple up 15 cents after hours, which is good, and good start to the SPY, up 53 cents. So, all right, that's it, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Go out, try to do something nice, right, for the animals and the humans. Be good, be safe, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. Okay, have a good rest of your day now. Talk to you soon. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.